At present, today is July 2nd, 2015. We've got quite a few outer planets in retrograde. The one I'm going to focus on today is Neptune Retrograde in Pisces. Neptune began to retrograde on June 12th, so less than a month ago, a couple weeks ago. And it will be retrograding all the way through the middle of November. So it's about 5 months of a retrograding Neptune. So what does that mean? We'll get into that, but just to set a little background, we've also got Saturn retrograde right now in Scorpio, and that will be retrograding all the way up through the beginning of August. The other planet that is retrograde at the moment is Pluto. Pluto is retrograde in Capricorn as well. When an outer planet goes retrograde, or if you have an outer planet retrograde in your natal chart, the focus of the planetary energy is directed inward. It's a more intense version of the energy, and it's also flipped around, almost reversed. Retrograde, reversed. So Neptune is illusion, fantasy, delusion. Especially when Neptune is in its home sign of Pisces. I remember back in 2010 when it moved out of Aquarius and into Pisces, that was such a big deal. Back when I had a blog, a Tumblr blog, I made a post about Neptune moving into its home sign of Pisces. And we've seen a lot of the spiritual compassion and unity energy while it's been in there. It's going to be in Pisces for a while, so I think that there's a lot more healing to come. But we all know Pisces. It's kind of wishy-washy. It's very watery. It's mutable. It's easily influenced. Can be easily deceived because of the urge to escape the harshness of the real world. Now, kind of happens on an unconscious level. And that's what Neptune does. And it's not all bad though. I mean, Neptune also makes people incredible artists. Projecting or being projected on is Neptune. When it goes retrograde, like it currently is, pretty much you don't have the comfort of those delusions anymore. You become incredibly aware of your sensitivity, your intuition, your psychicness, and it can feel overwhelming with all of this Neptune psychic energy. You start to see through the veil. You see through the illusions. Pretty much it's a wake-up call. You can't ignore the truth. You can't just escape. Neptune retrograde will not allow that. Face the music instead of just dancing blissfully unaware. While Neptune is direct, you're kind of able to gloss over those issues. Everything's fine. It's working out great. When Neptune goes retrograde, you're going to realize, no, this is not fine. This is not okay with me. These 5 months are really a time for all of us to pay close attention to what our gut is telling us. Do not ignore these new insights that are coming to you through spirit, because when Neptune's direct, you'll have these synchronicities happening and it will be external. When it's retrograde like it is now, you will be the impetus for these psychic realizations, messages from spirit, God, the universe. You are the one that is getting the message. So you must act on it. If you don't, if you choose to not grow, not learn, when Neptune does go direct in November, you will have hell to pay. You have to learn the lessons. You can't just put a Band-Aid on. It just doesn't work, because then you'll pay tenfold when Neptune goes direct, or any other planet. Same with Saturn. You need to take care of business. If you don't, when Saturn goes direct, you're still going to have all these lessons that Saturn is going to be like, what the hell are you doing? I wanted to be done with you, but you didn't take the responsibility. You did not change yourself and change your life the way that we were pressuring you to do. And I feel like the planets definitely all do kind of work in concert with each other. At this point, all of us humans on Earth are really going through very intense growing pains, I guess you could say. That's if you're willing to grow and change and learn and become a better person and really make big changes where they need to happen. If you don't, you're going to be forced to down the line, and it's not going to be fun. It's going to hurt even more than it will hurt now if you just do it. The delusions fall apart and you're able to see much more clearly than when Neptune is direct. I personally have Neptune retrograde in my natal chart. So if you have Neptune retrograde in your natal chart, this is an energy that we're familiar with. I love when outer planets go retrograde. And you know what? I like it when inner planets do too. When Mercury goes retrograde, it's just interesting, okay? And the same thing goes with Mercury retrograde. You've got to learn the lessons. But with Mercury retrograde, it's more obvious. Things externally will happen when the inner planets move retrograde because the inner planets are felt more on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, because they're closer, they move faster, very tangible in our life. So it's clear as day when Mercury is going all wonky and things keep happening out of your control. Neptune, Pluto, Saturn retrograde, it's different. It's not obvious, but it is on the inside. You can feel the awakening and you become more aware, but you won't have as much external help. It's more internal. And the energies are amplified a lot. It's way more intensely felt for all the planets, all the outer planets. If you've got Pluto retrograde in your natal chart, that's an extremely perceptive person. That is a very investigative, scorpionic type of person that just gets down to the nitty-gritty and sees through everything and is very intense all the time. If Saturn is retrograde in your natal chart, then you are the kind of person that does things right the first time. You don't wait to make the mistake because you have so much pressure on yourself to put out something you're proud of, which I love. I'm so happy that I have Saturn retrograde in my natal chart. I'm happy that I have Pluto retrograde in my natal chart, and I'm happy I have Neptune retrograde in my natal chart. I also have Uranus retrograde. When Uranus is retrograde in the natal chart, the person has, on the inside, it's not very obvious to other people, a very strong individualistic streak where they're kind of weird. For example, me, I'm talking to you about astrology right now. Astrology is not mainstream. It's very unconventional. It's an occultic knowledge and wisdom. And here I am living a normal life, loan officer, working 9 to 5, but I also have this outlet that I feel so strongly and passionately about with Pluto retrograde, Neptune retrograde, and Uranus retrograde. So, with that, I will wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. See you for the next video.